me say me 20,000, but me sika send me cash at me Gigi Crano, me phone call bank. Now me person me declare so say, oh, my make us ask 18,006 and above. What do I do? No. So phone no fair at Abinel solicitors no. Me wow. Now you make it you be more. You making sure say application no. Ya ye that's what ye pinty. We will be expecting your calls. Ye person adie way and calling him. Na yen to me application before say omo deadline no be for no. Na ye be. That is what I want. Sister, now that is the update I have for today.
Into a bit biara wo pese wo ye wo application kofa wo yiri ukunu edine ba no me pa cho kan ho pentema na koye before ye best start April no mesre wa for application no to be call 18,600 dey will be abenya so mo de call 29,000 dia ene wo yiri beka Ghana ukunu so beka Ghana enti bomoden na application for lawyer na yendi ehunkomo. All right, lawyer me person starting in free you for eso wo mo a omukura 5 years me pa cho share video no na free wunua bi na ka kire wunua bi say lawyer mu ya santo lawyer emi watana se ya tana se numre de bebusa question bi a wo pese obusa bi ya wa asem bi a wo pese a kire wo so na wo po bi amena yi wa no me pa cho fra bra aha se ye kasa afa you for omo a dependent ehun me kasa you dependent I am not talking about you nationals me kasa afa obi a okura Ghana passport ni kunu ne yire eye Ghana ni na okura Ghana passport because we you dependent and I use power okura eye Ghana passport ye de eye 5 years visa abom e de amount okura Ghana passport omo de 5 years visa abom e de amount bia tie mi ye de ti ameka se enem komo no de ebeboa wo bi bia wunua bi wo baabi ankomo we beboa no biko bebre na no ene fira kuntunkune bia wo yere okunu wo ye uni a wa ma wo nkrata wo komi ha no bia wa yera bia wa ware wo wie no ntokwa aba ebufu aba waso nyame ye wadom na wo 5 years ne so a obehu dwuma me dibedi wo 5 years ne so a menye nkrata ne mawo bia wo kura no on kan kire won so hwe ne action na ni senie wo tie na ni mode na wotimu se 5 years ne de eso a enya dia papai ana sister obegji indefinite leave to remain no de amame you for radiadom momra nente se UK law se wo ware British ni ma wo 2.5 years ewu a e was akwaje another 2.5 years ema ne ye 5 years after 5 years we tin dey join indefinite leave to remain se Britain ni ene wo ware na ye ma 2.5 years no na one complete 5 years na u breaki aware na won krata ase ba yumra entisa yumra se wutimi ehodi marriage no sustaining marriage no edru 3 years wutimi divorce now retain your right after 3 years no se wujai aware no or tete or how be ma no hu no ba no hu no na se wutimi kire se before 3 years no na woni wukunu woni wo yire no moda so warea won krata ne yensei no na emom no wode wo ho wo ba be ye wankasa wo ho won depend on obi biom o rely on the EU national no biom na emom no efikasie mufuo ebe ma wo enfie enum enti enfie enum no wade wo ho wo retain your right wan kasa de ho utu kwan na wo ba ye bebusa se wukunu wei ye bebusa se wo yire wei nyame ye wadom a na se 5 years no mo dia ma no utwa another 2 years kan ho a utimi kwaje wo indefinite leave to remain eno and I problem. And no, and I'm a person ye ni home komo because and no, and na 5 years ni do so. Na se nipa no or kwa kwagye indefinite document be no hia. Ohia nipa na woni na jai no you family member no still wo hia na nneoma ana wo hia obi nso so koye divorce wa 3 years na so kwa koye divorce osede na menye ede nneema na mehia na obi a mene ni kwagya aware de mekubusa ne nneema ode be ma me ana wo mfa ma me ana me hia ne hwe eno ane se makwa koye divorce certificate di aba mawie ana asesei ana se when and me divorce wa met me retaining me right. Some common na me pese ni because nko for bebre. E was some money ya make can say see mu to prepare questions at work. Lawyer me pacho yenko.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sister Abna. So retained right of residence, Sister Abna can it very well. Retained right of residence na EFA Appendix EU. The previous EEA law. And a family member say a family member yen says spouse ka home and as our retention of rights no is between the EU sponsor and between the spouse, you know, if we are talking in the context of divorce, because yen kai say you better touch on this briefly, but yen kai say nipa a film EU national no or film or free riase ha na owa retention of rights. Betty me a nipa no yen kai say domestic violence a ra our say our bono or you know a sitting ama man and wife and a woman and you know wife and husband either way and also retention of rights cover no ebi kra na only with EU national ho mun separated but who an EU national ebi a child one our custody of that child and also ubetini I use this route now I retain it right into there's so many different types of retention of right, but we are going to focus on our jaye because a lot of the times no na in comfort timid by a nim say my jaye and as I am on the verge say me be jaye say lawyer me again say me yen kai say a mistake be a yeah and I think so it's very important today say you better touch on sad mistake no one major mistake we make is that we rush it na yakoje divorce no prekope and mama country said there are two aspects. One said divorce not like everything else a process it is also who koje divorce there is the initiation phase say kind of brofo say that kind of tree more baby a started divorce no and no ana your termination date the data aware no end the EU appendix EU canon the home office guidance some boss no say omo pese aware no lasted 3 years before the initiation of divorce. So you can't treat more. And yet data, they quack pay divorce. I think I said 28th of February 2024. Now I divorce it. Per day 3 years from the data. Who call family courts no or UK from her. Not the family court, but the divorce center. Who call her say who call started divorce no. And now I say who Fred Ghana. Eka say ne yen Ghana for. Anna, me person me jawariye, me kojime certificate of divorce, but day now it is registered. It goes to the courts in Ghana that day because a beba divorce certificate no, and no now almost started counting the 3-year process. So we a mistake. Now ukoyeno before the who started divorce no even 1 day before omunji retained right of residence no. So very important say ho. Yebeka who answer na ya delve into the law further. Within the retention of rights, no, the more can say man and wife, omu person who say at least for 1 year, no, within that period of that 3 years, no, within 1 year, not more UK chrono so they don't want a situation that what worry, but now EU national no niha. they've never spent 1 year together anyway in the UK. Omunyan spend 1 year in the UK, but that is not what they are looking for. You have to spend at least 1 year. Into Omukana at least 1 year. The very important thing is say document bang na ode kaho atre omo say within the 1 year, both myself and my husband, or my wife and my husband, both of us, we were in the UK for 1 year. And no dear, it's very difficult to escape. So who can say yes? I'm not on talking terms with my spouse. Of course, there's provision for that. The Home Office guidance and more very sweet provisions. However, we have to remember, say, that 1 year, that 12 months, we need to try, say, those documents, no, because Kai said, our year, into Kwatimisi, but Ebiana at one point of the aware, no, none to Kwanyansi. So that 1 year period, no, we need to try to put that together, because maybe a separation after a year. Mean can't say, it's changing, but only come as 1 year, both for yourself and your spouse, your soon to be ex-spouse, a boa application. No, nipa baby says one of the main questions are meminya debia no say, sister Amy, lawyer Amy, me documents. I just say we have a joint bank statement and a joint life insurance, and then just say requirements no dear yentimi meet that. And I always try and explain, Pacho, it's here for yenti no. Na sa 1 year mo peno. Pacho interested by force. And so we and now we a share bank account. And now more joint life insurance. And now we a joint policy holders in health insurance. And now ebi kra na sky. Mumye no mudin daso. And now say council tax. Ebia mumye no mudin daso. It is not compulsory, say, that has to be the case. Yenkai say no biana yet, even though say a warrior bemu, but no biana yet nyama jointly. A bimu or bank account, they like it private. Worry, but they have their own bank account. Into EU national no or no the bank account separate. Anna Ghana Nina or Kita Ghana passport. Oh, you're family member of an EU national no. Or no so Kita the bank statements. And now the council tax me patch. So that is, it does not mean say a samu boom. It be cry sometimes who are tenancy agreements. Tenancy agreements no pen and no more deal also. Apart from that, no bills in Kutin. So me can't Kutin. Not just say there's so many bills. Light bill, electricity bill, water, gas, ni nyawo. But much bills no. And no to me fem. For 12 months for both man and wife, said that criteria that day, mommy into a day. That is very important. Okay, you delve into senipa niha because sister na say ban EU national a lot of EU nationals after the fact no only have you they are no longer here. Some of the EU nationals are not na check. But about time be a UK ababon ebeyedin kakra and our renunsan koye is they decided to relocate or go back to a more EU national country. It's a honum sano. Uye den now ubet me a retain right because onipa crown only baby or until who own himself only UK mime you know that. Well, so guidance no more. Appendix EU and that the guidance no I said at least before the initiation of divorce anka se nipa no wa ha if the person was here before 3 years no buy no na ono de no krom ha that's fine, but thereafter ebia who continue indefinite leave to remain will settle status after who na try kwan. You don't know where the person is at the moment. And slow cry because guidance no and more that extra protection. I actually say yes, and the background after 5 years now. Say a share data who initiated a divorce, who started a divorce no. Nani background no UK maimo. Intermediately no a bad say a bebo who buy a protective. Anna, there are so many different things. There will nipa be or her. Almost say, sister me. say no dear or lawyer me, we want to go for a divorce, but say no, you're ready say about divorce say yeah, but separation be abayin tem. Say no, meeting me a train kakra. Yen should sit ye nyama siako. Into 3 years no crowd no. 1 year what dream say call for a divorce because we are separated. But now no, after the 5 years no, after na udi what dream apa say there be me person me divorce. I want to divorce. Na e banasa. Ubeye day I retained right of residence. A bimu to me class row say, hey, now separation by not just say that no ya jawari. Mamin kanene said there are cases that support say separation but EU for omu warrior moi and no end say omu ye divorced legally. Into therefore the Home Office should still consider you as a family member. Despite the fact said divorce and them into all the years I only need to know if you have documents to prove so only on the 5th year or on the 4th year and I would decide said they may call for divorce. And so because in the 4 years no the fact said more separated no and just say more divorce. So you don't have to prove to them in with a divorce certificate say they said 4 years into it now me name kunte. Yes, only in take, but still our worry no cost. At Abinel solicitors, no, you bet me up wow, every step of the way. Won't say all these questions these are questions that EU family members, spouses, they usually ask. Oh, by yeah, answers to those questions to calm you down. Oh, because sometimes it can be very stressful. Oh, yeah, retained right of residence. You see, even you're retaining your rights. No, sometimes. Documentation. Because even after, say, what's now? Yes, for a period of time, you were separated at one point. And who say, okay, now I've divorced, I've retained my right, I'm going to present the application. But there's certain documents that me and the ni passport minya. The passport say, the ID card, family. Me ko bisana obes kasa ese me bride answer na say me ye ne bibi answer na ode be ma me so me ne fine sir. I don't want to talk to the person and now we are not on good terms. Into here then I make the bank statements. Even for that 1 year, you will nipa bi wo ho a. In fact, people can be very private with their documents. Kai said there are even people say about paper statements omo kasa enfo bi mba fiepo. Me pen ni online inti answer na wo be unsabe kasa paper no na wabre ebi kran separation ne bae no munyama you separated inti munyama mbombium you are not living together inti access to those documents no kran no onya. Now in a case of retained right where they want to see that you were both in the UK at one point would you work it away would you any day o call bank na mo print amount o council tax what keeping in ya but o kun ne de and o yere de a kun baby a wo kofa anka first kan no anka wo ID card o wo ID card but o sound phone it say ne the ID card na ayira it feel say application won definite ne de won santimi nkada. But and then we were be catch them will say there's very good news, a similar day. Almost say Home Office no flexibility. Into a flexibility not just to me no and rano to me bending kakra and money yes flexible. Almost say they will give you a chance more chance say sabi say we need documents no dear yet say mo separate here sometimes tempers are very high it's in there say who phone friend na ebi kra on pekepo who ko bisa no documents on peke yen kai said not only are they flexible they were na yetimi gina so your friend there's a case called the case of Barnett. You say documents ni nyano udima first no who call for ABA pre-settlement. And I said back in the day who call for residence card no who the passport call who the ID call who the certain documents call almost sign pre-settlement no who signed it nyama Home Office in respect to your EU sponsor. In this case, no say the Home Office must refer to those documents. It is only ID card, only passport. Buy your at Abinel solicitors. You name cases that say the Shemwa. Oh, to need stop it in their tracks. Because the case of Barnett says you should go and check your documentation on your system. Yeah, they are bad at that. Into Nyafina say Uber dying by force. Say the documents is some bramobium. So that is a very good point. You see, so this retained right of residence, no. A lot of people ask the question, now me train 5 years, no, and now me 3 years, me because say separation now, but me sure. Well, that I'll give an answer to that question today. So who can say you are not sure? You have to be sure. The reason being is they say. So who are waremu atete wom, threats wom, bribery wom, abuse wom, both physically, mentally, sexually. Now you need the chance. Say sebe ubetimi ate but status I work from her will not be affected, and you feel say you need to be, or in order to get away from the person, you need to divorce. Now then yes, if 3 years before the initiation, it's a near date of divorce. No, 3 years. Who they court no. So you before who do not say who do marriage certificate? Court you know say you've already done 3 years already. Who bet me at the 3 years now because say the crowd to me na. Abana say even way crabem was the name of it. Non-molestation order, occupation order. And you don't need to be with a person. Your status shouldn't be married. Every cry now, so divorced, but you want to even get into another relationship with someone else. Then the 3-year period is good for you. But situation more haneha. Not just borderline of divorce. Still out but separation abem. And you are not sure say religious beliefs, so many things are coming into question. You don't really want to go for the divorce immediately. Later on, dream based on what happens in the marriage. But at that time, you're ready now. I can tell you today, you don't necessarily have to be divorced to be considered for settled status or indefinite leave to remain. Because Kai said, Home Office, they consider separation as you being a family member. You are still a family member. It's a nearby force. Change now and I said, divorce it. Who through the 5th year, now one before fra. And I said, who feel say you've been abandoned. Separation, no, must separate your chair. Say no, so show kakra. You are thinking, say, okay, if that be the case, new beginnings. I want to go now for a divorce. Now, on the 5th year or on the 4th year, you want to go for a divorce. You can still go for the divorce, and after 5 years, get your indefinite leave to remain. That is the answer, because sometimes in the part to me, because I said, me 3 years and now me 5 years, but as solicitors, no, it's not up to us as to when a son will divorce, because maybe I send bad actually I will say me na me push you say koje divorce na sebe we always want you to make up your mind. But the great thing of this EU appendix EU and guidance na say buying a sempa area, it gives you flexibility. So even after 3 years, when you're ready, so be divorced, you can still remain separated and you can still get your settled status. After 3 years, when you're a new relationship, you want to move on, you want to get divorced. After the 4.5 years, before say who could do 5 years, no, who person who divorce here. Don't feel say what separate here. Home Office baby say I didn't want for divorce and bantam. There be one divorce in the first place. You can still go for retained right of residence, even if you divorce after 4.5 years or after 5 years, you can still go for it. Into eno na ene mede bremo. That is the main point of call with retention of right. Who was that situation more? Answer na obetu nine say me koje divorce from answer. ansana ubeka say oh me koji divorce Ghana me patcho friend answer me divorce bia na wo Ghana ye wo krom ha ansana ubeye divorce kro so person who pros ni cons person who the timelines, how long it takes, how much does it cost. Friend at Abinel solicitors ebi cry there's some interest inside detailing person who did count divorce so property kakra wo ho nkola kakra wo ho. You want to discuss that before say divorce no ube NDBPA me patcho answer no ube make sa move no patcho friend answer me bow on that route to make sure you are able to retain your right in the United Kingdom. Me patcho me that's it.
Okay. Yo, lawyer, ya dasi bebre nyame enshra ya dasi anyone chire mu se lawyer atimenka.
Me too, Kapa. Yes, please.
Me dasi bebre anyone chire mu why ade pa why ade. Lawyer me was just a questions be me person me busa na move on ekọ eye school worker dependents ho na ye di enkomo afei na wodo afidie neto a ya bonus campaign na TV so enie aha ye remra di mra fremra kanche mra pusu mra dware mra ehye atade de wonti ase wo barase abeti ase the whole United Kingdom immigration headquarters eno ane ha ahya awo penkrata wo benya wo pe edie na wo hwehwe ewa ha wunya bibi a wo benya ntimi patcho like it wa baso no me patcho like it obi a wo baso bia no obi a like it Reverend Fred Duba won like it ye aha Queenie Flourish won like it ye Sylvester Boatin wo tete so won like it ye Rita Mensa wo ba won like it ye Obaya wo so wo hwe be free kamba wo Obaya ene bra sorry Obaya won like it ye seniorness wo ba ye won like it George Jefferson obi a wo baso bia no like it and share wa baso bia no like it Ebenezer Hope oba ye won like it or say share Ebenezer like it and share Joe Ketia Joe like it and share obi a like it na e share mon click so okay lawyer we say a year divorce a year retention of right and when you dimun komo achire yemu ama yate ase ama wa ma ye hope wa me ni da so say we kunu na wo yire no empo say wanya na nioma no amfa nkompa e ma ne hawo ye wo kan na me kan bi o e de aye ni gisem e ma ne hawo na momu no so wo ba Abinel solicitors emre bi wo ho a ebo wo mo ho adwa e kire say all your application for the first time no documental odigu so e de koye eye ni kunu no ede ana na yire ne de documental odigu so e de koye no emre bi wo ho a mo betimi I refer to that emrano actually home office say enipa ni babe ne first application no muji ni kunu no birth certificate muji ni kunu passport muji ni EU number muji ni insurance muji ni this enti say no wo moye divorce no dem man na wo ba ni se on provide enfama no enu nti no mo go back to the first application na wo ye no document na mo hwehwe ni nyina no e wo so mo nyusu e no lawyer sama na pesa wo kire
correct
enti wo bi ani kunu ayira ni kunu hunu na yira wo mo bom su dwese ye mfa mamo no eno no ukohu lawyer betimi akotu sa law no e yusu sa law no na lawyer dia me pesa me busa wo sa law no mu no enie what about say any panel document now or the first application no ne passport no I spy and now document egusu no I spy because by law home office won't me fa nioma I spy nko ho every so mo je nioma alax for 3 months or 6 months won't me fa nioma atwam enko ho And it say 5 years later and now 3 years later now person will retain your right na nyome wo se egusu no wo ni na wo quote law of was it a law they say Banat law of Banat. See a mon consider the law of Banat no mon question would first application no na first application no mo ko hwe na nyome egusu nyina so no ewu a obey day.
Yes, and also, but Osha Home Office guidance, because the case of Barnett is there not just for documents, to say passport or ID card, but it can be there for other things like employment history, like ABIA, also the EU settlement scheme, documents are Nipacronic or the COIA for that period. It could be anything, it could be even a marriage certificate, or Nipanum person or copy amount, but or they are called, who they call the first time, until they already have it. Into documents are expiring. The Home Office have guidance. I just said they have the flexibility to do their checks outside of the documents. So the Home Office can always confirm with their embassies. They can always check to see whether the person remains an EU national. I want to check it. Into that, both the case of Barnett and guidance, and Mark has something near with documents, that because of the case of Barnett and because of the Home Office flexibility to check, to do their own checks, no, Emma BBI daddy, Emma into that is the answer to that question. So even if it's expired, the Home Office can, or they have the powers to me, say checking, say the person has a valid ID, because in case say nipe bi wo hon so a ye fa the ID friend and send ye fa the nationality and citizenship no. They take it from them, they revoke it. Into net Debiana, me abanasa, but they can do their checks to find out. So.
The major retention of writer and as a divorce. Me divorce, nasa me koya application to non retaining me right. Say me koji indefinite leave to remain. Me 5 years naso. Me kwaji indefinite me kunu no me yire na me ne jai no. Still la me here ni document aka ho ana.
And Nana Kase, they want to see, say you've been together for at least 1 year. They would want to see that. Into the Home Office by way of the laws, no, they would always want to see some sort of documentation. But say only sad documentation. And yet a way into the Abinel solicitors because you bet me because of course, as we all know, say there could be barriers SCC hop on fat at the end of into you as a wound so we have vocal a chain by open up a chain and said patch of documents with the minion. And for what reason? What is the reason? Ebi kra unin wako yeno nansenya into yourself fat bibi amount. Ebi kra na wo na lock in out of the matrimonial home into what time or say on for bibi amount. You need to tell us the reasons why. Into your kind of say na Home Office or more show compassionate submissions now. Wa be yeno na o more so I can say okay yes in these circumstances dear. Yeah, it will be quite difficult. Maybe another domestic violence blows pound more come of you. Into yafe osro crazy or back of your aqua bizarre bibiabium. Ninyano mono. I said we have to open up. I feel say Ghana for sometimes we hide information. Opa ye feel free. Why? Beside the open. And I open up. You better encourage you. Say be wasemu na yenshemu emboa. So just open up and tell us what the reasons are. Why? In case of from mommy, that of course we know. Our Jaya but okay but what are some of the reasons why you feel say we even without asking bisa crowd feel is on from mount and then we can help you.
The reason why tell me busa sa medas ni nkyeremu me say nipa krono oni ha na mom one of lawyers ni bi application ama obi na wo ma a divorce or ma retaining rights Yeah, na emi so mokoye indefinite leave to remain. Minim so wo so a mokoye indefinite leave to remain. Na indefinite leave to remain no mokoye no. Sister ne say, lawyer na san busa ne say, onko fa ni kunu no ne na jai no. Eni mamra.
Yeah.
Which is sister no so upset. Say na mi nyenti na me meja aware. Enti die enti na wa san bebusa me se me nkofa enioma ne mra. Enti na me pese me hu se woni nipa ni jai na wo ye indefinite you still need nipa no enioma na e na wo so approve a che me se sa na mra na eka but se woni dia which is divorce ba entokwatimi ba enti se woni dia e was so catch wo lawyer and say you don't have it now wo lawyer and explain it in writing and the to so say woni eno e wo ho my last question ni enko ye care for a dependent so lawyer say we divorce e wo kromi ha say because wo kasa no wo see ye divorce certificate bia na home office eje ye nyina ye nim ana woni ma na me ka kire wo tie me a ansa na abeye divorce e wo Ghana UK mremu no de UK government ti ase say e wo se mo na mo ye divorce no at least baako etimitna Ghana for 12 months enti se mo mienu nyina mo tikuromi ha na mo te ha na makoye divorce certificate aba home office omonye wo de ko home office a ebe raise a lot omonye enu nti na lawyer ka se ansa na wo pese ye divorce bi hu no enya ba wa adwi mu se me pese o me retain me right me pese me ye divorce retention of right e ye good ema mo amukura kuntunkuni mo kunu mo no mo yire se menye ene lawyer question bi kwa lawyer ye wo sex abuse wo ho ye wo sex abuse wo ho
Oh yes, I do.
Sir, you for 5 years, you know.
Yes.
Obitimi kuntunguni, obitimi ni kunu ne yire. Eya wade yo kura 5 years yi. Sex mo abuse pa, especially ma me fo mpanyinfo no. Mpanyinfo no se bi mpamcha mo fa nchem mo manye mo menopause ko ho no. Se eba beso waje kuntunkuni na wieo. Okone wa wo so ne ma na menye woni ma na menye mema no mo hwa ye awurade meja me yiri wo ho kuntunkuni aware ye de nipa be kwa akire na wo kote ba akowe obi onye ne menopause na se ade ni so di demu a sex abuse da bia be ba be do letter bi o se be hye so o be fa letter o se be hye so ye ma o se hye so liar eno no ube ma no betimi a report to say sex abuse oba na abuse sex enti for that matter won san kan document no because a man bebre no the most of a man bebre especially empanyinfo no ena yes awo empanyinfo no lawyer eya na time ena cheche wo mo because ya was me fama obi ko fa letter kra me mama obi obeye ose bia wo boa wo pe wa hyew so o pe wo do aye kibab enti se wo kaso wo de kibab mente ba akokala wole mente ba akonua lawyer na ate afa so adi nso no waje wabeye ho ade waje kuntunkuni so be ma wa hye so saa na osisi kura ye oya enti lawyer se ho enti anono lawyer be man betimi a report to say sex abuse e wo fie ho enti onya oba ne nuoma meboa.
Yes. Oh, you see, that's a very good point. Well, sexual abuse can fall under domestic abuse as well. Inti eno krano divorce cranium by 3 years cranium by ubetimi akọ 1 year after kase it's domestic abuse because I'm being sexually abused. It's affecting me psychologically. It's affecting my health. It's affecting my confidence. Affecting the BBI. Say the day.
Psychological.
Yeah, psychological. Yeah. So sexual abuse can affect you psychologically as well.
Hey, nansa says you so no. Utieti Ghana nkofo TV so near ye lawyer on me Ghana. Utieti eya doctors no mu bi wo Ghana almost say sex dear ye. And I also can say sex can affect your mental. And your rape was some na make you mean can rape. Make sex.
Yes, it can affect you mentally because just an example, who can say nipa bi wo ho on pesa obeye on pesa now de bia wo de adada eba de enum onye me we a me ma we me nya aduane ma onye we a me ma letters onye we it affect you psychologically obeye but onye you're depressed because
so who can na machine no
correct
and you find the letter when you so obe so 7 rounds and san no akọ onu so pentima kwa adwuma lawyer you wonya akora hwemanim talk to me we are lawyer talk to me wo kra na so keka de me keken
sister na be what can you spot on into
what I want na lawyer enti wo kra na so wo kan sexual abuse supposed to ya na ma no ye na feel say mema ni abuse here for sex so but lawyer some people me am peniful slow woman for no money like say young girl no obi koye eni ni kunu koye enkrata onye enye sa ba ebinom no slow woman for no onu wa chi wo hye dem a one hour de sama kan bi ama 3 hours na ni panish de na ni tray to agya no ukuru ko se sare letters aba be fro ukuru afre no okọ o hye slow woman ho enti yes eno so de lawyer ka no oso timi di raise bibisa me ka di agro ba ya sempa na me ka kire mo no bia wutie me wo de na ye threat ne ka ba kuntunkuni ebi mu na wo kom ba me di agro kasre sane wo besre but ye serious enti wo say nipa no se nipa ne ka se wo me fa ma me nye sei wa anya me nye sei abra ko ne ko hu lawyer bo modin ne ko hu lawyer wo so kura de 1 year kura wutimi ye because sexual abuse ne de den pa okay enti lawyer ye member divorce ne so ne ko wanim
yes
divorce no se ukokoye divorce na wo si ebia Ghana de enye ni nyina ne kromi ha agitum me fa no se ye no kromi ha how long does it take so we ye divorce and sana go through and na two me bu say one question ye two and na two so no one person ebetimi aye divorce because bia na ba ko de me pese mi jao ba ko se me de mi nya o obeye me den me de mi nya awade ne da mi nya o enti wonko ano obetimi go ahead aye divorce.
Okay, very very good question. Yes, in terms of divorce no Ghana de omo 2 types bako legally binding or UK chronoso and a bako is not legally binding. Bako friend customary dissolution certificate. Sa customary dissolution certificate no and yet bibia legally binding UK emramo into the basa over so adu retained right. There's a strong possibility say umbeka say way omun marriage certificate way omunje. Now, there's a second type that is legally binding ewa krumha and no your friend of certificate of divorce, court processed divorce. And no dear, so ultimately crasa documents no wo kai say and no so the buyer once the dates are in check, you initiated it 3 years before 3 years before the initiation, but when you're 3 years that must stay married for 3 years, and I would call court. You said was stay married for 2 years and 11 months. Now would call court. Bearing in mind, say later no, not date of marriage, date of divorce, no bear later. Now bear 3 years. They are looking for the date of initiation. So I said 3 years. Pahon kra ansa no ye wa dream say divorce. I said our jaya eba adenu. And omo pe court processed certificate of divorce. E da bi beba ye the copies of these 2 divorces. Beba be chemo on Abner's campaign platform so. Not much me because sometimes a moon you are not too sure. Mudi buy now their brain. Meanwhile, say the wrong thing. Into I think say maybe even next week you better me offer samples, a redacted sample. Nobody's name is on it or anything, but I show how the document looks. Na what me abohu ejuma, and not work for the right thing. The second question SME answered is about yes. I think that was about divorce. What was the second question? Sister now, I think so. You asked a question about divorce again. Okay, Patrick, just Bosubium mommy. I'm remembering, but let me say, it's gone a little bit into what is the second question about divorce now? Anka open me answer.
Okay, my second question about divorce now. Me busa I want to say. Yeah. 1, how long and now we divorce so come here a take?
Oh, how long? Okay, right. You see, if you are going to go through a divorce, child arrangements in NIM, financial order in NIM, then we are looking at a minimum of 6 months for you to finally get your final divorce certificate, which is your decree absolute. It take it 6 months. Process nasi sankakra in the past, no. Now, to me, rush it through the court process, kakra, but say no dear, omo say reconciliation, say, mubet me ababaka, omo say, it may be possible, until they don't rush through the process like that. It takes its time, and then at least within the 6-month period, divorce needs to be back. But say, who won kola, now who pay arrangements for kolano before, say, decree absolute no bebano. They will stop the divorce proceedings at one point at decree nicer to make sure say omo handle sa in kola seninya where the children will stay baby betna weeks are omune omo mama betna week so omune omo papa betna kama ninya no that takes longer. Also at in Japade mu ware no nyame asra mo manya Japade bebre mu pese mu che both the UK and Ghana nya kai say answer na ombema decree absolute no. They will make sure say it is prudent say financial order no is dealt with a dining 70 pensions this nya omo dealing with no answer na divorce na by it no to me manage more than 6 months. But if there's nothing like that involved in the marriage and you're going for the divorce, at least within 6 months you should get a result back.
Yeda lawyer me patro yenko skill worker for and as a care for no omo dependent na no yenka omo dependent so omo spouse na emom ye kasafa omo emma yenyina ye ni mo say enkrata na se visa de akonya bibire wo ho skill worker especially care for no ye na emremu no ekire se before no now na ekire se wunya sponsor United Kingdom as a healthcare assistant na mra no ema wo kwan ema wo di wukunu wo yire oma ana wo ye bema ema wo pama wo de wo yire ene wo ma eka ho eba ahase. Last year and our Home Secretary announced said they are abusing the system. And nunti omo peso omo kati dependent na wo ba kromi haseya as a healthcare assistant. Untimi mfa wo kunu, untimi mfa wo yire, untimi mfa wo ba emma hasen. E kromi ha omo be ya ade a omo ka na ba bonten. No more debate one. And some omo dia parliament ama be ye mra. Ento mu didi won komo be kan emiye bebo ho dawuro obi ankofa ne mamro obi ankofa ne kunumro obi ankofa ne yirimro obi anyese yo enti last year omo be kan se nyame ya adomo a spring and na changes bebree ebe start. But this year 2024 and no babontin January ebe ka say skilled workers and as healthcare for the no ebe starting ya me adoma 11th of March. Now before omobema date of 11th of March no last year no na wo mafrase o kofa wo baba enyo mo bebusa wo no brother sister se one kentimu a wa be mu bebu. Why? Because omu se nkofo bebre e de prema kema e na aba be kurum ha nkofo bebre e ma wo mo se ye omo ma no home office for say modern nkofo ma e na aba kurum ha, which is airport kura wo mo chi nkofo bebre. BBC news ka bebre nkofo ankasa timi work in eko enkura ni bi ko school no makoka se maame ne nyame maame papa ne nyame papa enti they know say nkofo bebre e de nkofo ma ebe kuromi ha enye wo ma enti say no wada se wa be kuromi ha dada afei na wo kofa wo made no maba home office emra wo mu no bedie ene nsem a wo bebusa before ne nka kofa wo baba eye so simple omusa DNA by law ekrom ha yemusa DNA but say home office you so brofo bi say ownership of the child. After ownership no see yemusa ownership wa enyoma wo bebusa wa kora ne ho no brother enti wo won krata na wo de baaye no sister ye di obi ma gugu so dia ma no eni ye obi dia dia eni me inform mabio na emome ye kasafa biological children ehu eni ene wo ba be di nkomo say no omo de nyoma bebre abekeka ho omo nyi bi mfiri mu na emome no omo de nyoma abeka ho ukofa wo baba wo kromi ha dada wo enye mo afe na moba de from March monka ho ye kasafa omo wo kromi ha dada omo de skill workers aba healthcare aba kromi ha na omo person kofa omo ma edeba application obeye requirements ben na wo mu hia me patch for pen ne paper na adult nyoma to ho lawyer kasa bia ye bie phone lines atum any question be apeso busa bia no obetumi abusa lawyer me patch me jama.
All right. Into skilled worker dependent, very controversial area because skilled worker dependent child applications recently they come back with so many different excuses, so many different ones. One of the main ones is one that they call sole parental responsibility within skilled worker dependent applications. Yenkai, I think so on this program I've said it in the past.
Hey, Jody, ewo YouTube, Joe, me pacho, ye wie ya fre lawyer, misrew. Ye wie ya bomodian ne fre lawyer, over YouTube na. Ne comment in the same as na double thing. It's me patro ye wie ya obetimi afre lawyer. Why misrewa? Me the lawyer number beto so yes sir, me number at the screen so frame me na me test lawyer number now. Lawyer me patro yenko.
Okay. Into sole responsibility, I think say my boss of a program used to say sole it means one. It does not mean two. Inti se ni pakrona akolana o pese o ko fano Africana ba o hadada o skilled worker visa no dada o ye we djuma kama o pese o ba ebe ka ho. So we are the type of if you are in the type of family unit papa and mama ka hu bia internet chess and you have joint parental responsibility for the children. Yenkai say anything in the application, I bet she said joint responsibility. But it can be insinuated, it can be inferred. You bet me from the documents I would have no say caseworker no sha entry clearance officer no or to me fat no sha who say the other parent is involved. It be cry na, for example, who call wakoye ne DNA nipa krona or didn't call no a form no say father na didn't call ye. Meanwhile mother will crum her. But yeah, kase or your sole responsibility for the child. Not just say it's so onunkwa na shakolano. Tinti ya day na papa ebem. Sanya manu bemu pe a side case immediately. In fact, these days decisions are mode banakrano. So obia a guardian and yene papa and you be parental responsibility. It will be a one man informally on your legal guardian. Informally, or one among the grandparents, a grandparents, quite say, or show, and now send auntie or uncle. Say, no, a cockrana or more cast sole responsibility, Nasa na nipa crona or friend colano, on to me and cosson show cry. These days they are coming back with, say, oh, I didn't on to me show. So on your coin the shren colano. Meanwhile, that person only parental responsibility book. That is how strict they are becoming. Into say, oh yeah, the sole responsibility for Oba. Person didn't buy UK mine. I say you're careful. These days, no affidavits are yet trotro and hold it enough weight. And your evidence are to me. But what I'm trying to say is that there are other things they want. For example, so who are sole responsibility for the child legally? How do you prove that? Because how do you prove, say, the father or the mother of that child is not involved in their lives? Sometimes nipa to say or Ghana court or court sole custody order. I just say sole custody no no share or what's our legal right and I say in an order to look after the child. But even that no sometimes the entry clearance officer is not satisfied with just that. They want to see more proof. Say the other parent is not involved. Now some more proof. Now how do you prove it? It's very difficult. But Oba Abinel solicitors are your pet coin biswa. You bet me the necessary research. You bet me contacted certain professionals in Ghana, specifically social workers. Mo bet me about family units. Mo bet interview bibia asha omo brabom. Inti ayene sakra na the court krana bet me quote their social reports no krana aka afan kolano ho. Inti a bit deeper kakra. Untimi infa one letter enko just say maami no hwe ni ba and as a money transfer receipts. Pacho omonje. They are looking at they want more and more and more evidence. These days, who the DNA crack corner HSA or Bakra still are not on person because overall, no, one of the points we make applications based on, or one of the requirements, is sole responsibility. And a lot of the time, we are not meeting it. Omun Jindi said the other parent is not in Ghana. Omun Jindi. You have to prove beyond everything. Say that child is on their own. When I will make decisions, Emma Salcolano. The other parent is not involved. And there's sometimes, and so there are exceptional circumstances. Ebi krana o baho, but akolana o wano. Ebi krana there's some disability wa akolano ho. Ebi krana akolana enyi since 18 or di 18 afi. But upe ways and means the akolana abakrom ha. Yes, given or ye adults because who drew 18 and we are adult by default, but be exceptional when a brabo I just say ni mama jana ho and ani papa was so responsibility and I no or shani be so and I say ebi krana the child is endangered or an endangered child, right, in the sense that ebi other parents no abuse no wo na utumi dramo a man is safe haven, a man is safe safe place for that child to live in. It's exceptional circumstances. It is a application no decor. You then have to open up This is another thing I make can say, yeah, applications where now they ma agents, they ma way, and at the end of the day, rana omudia to hono. So one meeting cleaner, sole responsibility, no exceptional circumstances. For instance, one meeting or criteria na and the refusals will keep on coming. And yen kai say application I did to move first no. I bet me affect our administrative right for review. It can affect that because omo just say ebia omo an error in law. Yes, there was an error in the case working or an error in law somewhere. But so udi who come now with documents ni nya udi buy said the other parent is involved. Who could a school letter ni mama ni papa di ni nya was so and who pen a war. Who say won't na usheno, but I didn't no mudi aba school letterhead also. I didn't call for hospital letter. Ni mame accompany no hospital ho. Yet what I say won't na also responsibility. It is a uba Abinel at Abinel solicitors no. You bet guided on the content. Oh, you see, evidence behind your evidence or me patio. Near evidence bia obetimi tam me de koye me application ese emuye him ese emuye drew. You can't just add anything na the account there be until before so bedrew stage no why you want say we application no for Abina solicitors obetina ye hona ye nimu kasa ye be ma the right guidance and the right steps not the content of their woody ban a tresse was so responsibility a tresse. There are exceptional circumstances in this case, indeed, therefore, the child should be granted an opportunity to join parents in the UK. That's all this, as I said, all these documents that we are providing, weighing card, all these things, these days, on what type, yes, albeit you are trying to prove, say, you are biologically linked to that child. And no, dear. Say no to an extent they've left that alone. Late now they are starting to ask for documents of photographic evidence. Say what near child sole responsibility no. So throughout the child's life, from the time the baby was born till time we did 10 say or Jina 9 so you person evidence. Say throughout that time na uwana brabomu. And also, a new thing or introducing in the documents they are requesting for. But at Abinel solicitors, because of now that the demand from the entry clearance officer, in such a way, say, Opa, those are the documents I started your application before it goes. Yeah, my name na omasa abefrey and back up beside David. We now see their trend into every room be a femono. Yes, we befa ho. Now you're making sure say you cover more ho. We are trying our very best. Say dependent application no. And yet be ube sign off from the beginning because a lot of people know the first application I call and sister na a call for AR poor. They just throw it out because na case no documents are what they call are incriminating documents and maybe be a boy. Let's start off with Abinel solicitors to begin with. My intention with the specifics documents be a muye drew maybe be a kosa and Ghana court and sole custody without extra support, without extra advice from us because there will be cry a bit to me. I advise you say yes, so can my young son be a social worker report and fanta not yen function how far you bet me they approve a sole responsibility no. Into sister now when I what Emma skilled worker dependents before an application is made no to me saying you will never come back from it again. At this stage, no, so who call for AR, no, or share their what call first, no. Did they make a mistake in looking at the application? Now, one for proper birth certificate and back. Documents, I would say, a health records, no, or fraud in a also. letters from school, ni GP, ni hospital, ni church, ni nyano, and ni nya say na ni mame o te Ghana no o ka ho bi a one akola no wo ho. Won so say was sole responsibility. There's no photographic evidence to suggest say any what do you call participation in the child's life whatsoever. When yes a mistake now they call AR they will refuse you. The chances of being refused, because it means they've not made a mistake. AR is looking at whether they have made a mistake in the decision that they made. It said, why do you now say what about me AR? I have to advise you. Say a cohort they can refuse you. Inti Mayen started with Abinel solicitors. Let us guide you on the documents. Documents be what time it is. They know what time it is. They know that the application needs to be approved because documents no de and your documents be ye ka ho echo answer na ye de ko ye check the content. Yeah, check it sometimes bisa for WhatsApp communication. Ode kono one shekra say ni papa bem. Also say ni papa nenen chen. Also say the father is an absentee father. The mother is an absentee mother. Until ye day no oba WhatsApp communication chat mo. What share certain other documents, photographic so pictures of the child. Na mamini papa ni nyadinem prekope. In recent years, then they're like, but I thought you said that they were not, you guys, you're not together. So therefore, mom or dad who is in the UK, they are looking after you. DNA, kaisa kola or koye DNA, and so be son and sem, and didn't call on to me, call a bra on your adult, on your child on their own. Definitely, need a third party. Na preoccupy the other parents no abeka ako. Wonso waka say sole responsibility for the child. When no a say case no answer na before say ubeka abede na case na say a call AR and so ubeka say they maintain their decision because why a mistake? All the documents are quite said the other parent is in their life. Intimate Pacho, Abinel first, skilled worker dependent children or child application second. Now, the difference. Say applications, approve it because we know the right documents are they will agree. So, Sister Abna, that is what I have for the skilled worker dependent children applications. Say more than kakra. Yeah. Thank you.
Yo, lawyer, simi beer phone lines no ede atum. Any question be a person busa lawyer be able to me busa lawyer. Say emfa enen komo na ye die ne ho. Say emfa komo na ye die ne ho. Question be a person busa bia. So we do application akọ home office and afa na we dey be abekọ. Ye nua be na bi question na no busa e wo YouTube say what worry you need that was one also satisfied a year 29,700 after April no na any question be a person busa bia no obetimi abusa numbers in the good screen is 0044750224 227990447861705200 and a gusu no 0044417417510499 any question bibia wo betimi ebusa me pacho wo fra me modin ofra modin obusa wo question na me pacho question so ya na mo frefra eho entoma kakra emfa emame enti obaso a obodin ana wabusa wo question na opese obusa na lawyer akire wo mu ewa ha ma modi audio suba na mintimi mo audio ewo aha sei ebia na ompeso bi beti ebia na me personal minim enti better se wo befre na lawyer eyi wanom lawyer osi Jody osi Auntie Abuna, does an EU citizen still need to show 29,700 in order to bring his wife to UK?
Yes and no.
Hold on, mommy, why?
Yes and no. So nipa krona e worry before the 31st of December 2020 or worry the family member of the EU spouse or worry that one there's no problem. Then you can go under the EU route. But so a worry see after then they can't use that route anymore. They can't use the marriage an old out of date marriage certificate, or not out of date, after the 31st of December 2020. At any time after that date, so what was our date now? So Utrias are $29,000.
Medase. Hello, Medo for Pame Pacho Yen Come Modin.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, darling, good evening.
We are the chair only lawyer Papa.
Oh, Joso.
We are Miss Rowe. Me one question, you know, I'm saying me born a tougher.
Any born in 10 money.
Back on the program no. I'm saying, you kind of me car over Chimasley. Me pana. And the men collar abacruha. And that's my dependent Ediama or no Nikunu. And Kolana Bakru Mohana on the ticket of
skill worker, or not just someone the skill worker and buy
almost the skill worker buy, but dependent.
Me for the so ex-wife and cranny the mommy and me boy.
Concraded your own man.
Internet just a ex-wife and the woman ba. Name Momuye papa no papa no the main applicant.
Main applicants. Someone papa and ma.
Crankrata. So when you say claim more money dear or man and crata say.
No, I'm a person.
And tis a walk or do or more dear who wouldn't be no one more movie. It is a walk or do or more dear or more mono, yet do a more mawa and cranomunin crata.
Okay, now Mamina or under dependent no sir.
Lawyer Mamina or no ya under dependent no. Papa bet me a quadrene mawa bra or bet me a use soon crana yet nedie or mukra skill worker no.
Well, first of all, why application at said biological father no and yet wo. The old claim say a colano ya wood ya through the dependent partner and now through children. Home office can cancel the leave. So we are very careful. I don't think this is the appropriate route for you.
Lawyer say won't me though mammy will be, but mammy is still dependent on the papa no. Into won't me you so crying.
Okay, because I'm yet also you know so my worry you. And me de inkrata to eno so me inkrata sa na application no omo refuse and ya appeal. Na appeal na ya na ya try say home office for ebe respond to appeal. Ya try and oba no actually say a creative problem e ma me say ye njai. And so much abusing and emotion ya o de me e from. Enti aware no so 3 years. And I'm person bisa say chance be or as a divorce so make so any all kinds of that abuse now on the firm so the divorce although appeal no respond in by
and 2% bra e wan kwafo wo so 2% busa say so we jai 3 years in marriage no Ujaya, obetimi agina so because of abuse, no betimi agina so e de agye nkrata. Na se nkrata no munya mfa ma abuse so ne de ma wo mo nkrata no. Lawyer Bremai or say ye refuse or more appeal. Appeal ni enya mfa ma no oba ne say oni ni jai abuse bebre no de ni kom. And in this case, no betimi and you so abuse ne dia can appeal ne one me de nkrata da manana.
Okay, first of all, you have to be recognized as a family member. Not just say you have to be issued with the pre-settled status that it's needed first. That's our 5 years, no, based on your relationship. And later, abuse.
Until I in short, because any pen flower, until I in short to no any because you have visa, unya family member yet. That's what you say. Unya member enye meye family member yes enti wo bo kra wa bo free enti no so wo person ni jaya wo aboka pacho what you say bra what you say okay my main phobia hello made of me pacho yenko yes darling nana jina so me pacho misre mo lies ne me ensa nyina ye adwuma ba se we so kwa na mo friend ya e busy nana ye mejo so pacho yenko so ho ye
bisa lawyer nyame ado me question bi am bisa me nyanya answer no definite answer lawyer me papa na me depend on so so you but unfortunately your call down no ko this me over 21 see chance be or mommy and answer
yes.
Oh good.
Yes.
Lawyer see yes chance wo ho at the mouth.
Yes. Oh yes.
Nyame shira. Hel made up
so yeah na the number me for my money.
Aye okay from energy why. Hello made of me pacho yenko lawyer tie o. Me pacho lawyer tie o.
Hello.
Yes darling.
Good evening, Pacho.
Inshallah. Wo ho. Adu yenko.
Pacho, you know, I see with you any ejuma power ya o de any lawyers are go for mo de o ba lawyers papa lawyer ya asantwa.
Nyame shira.
Lawyer me Pacho, me pese me ga tro say da wasi with you nkola no so nyina o maba.
Oh good.
Nkola be drew Friday no ntini lawyer ya da wasi bebre.
Hey Abdul yo Abdul aseda na ade na why ade lawyer mi ebo abaso why ade nyame nhira so abeda na se me da se hello me do for me pacho yenko hello me pacho yenko hello wa was no me pacho ntime nka hello me for before free hello me do for me pacho yenko
Mama Pacho, good evening.
Good evening, sweetie.
Mama Pacho, media divorce. Na media ni tieni bema ni na abuse ne doso na police for be fa ne free field. Ti me ne kwala miensa. Eti ye free field ya separate be 3 years ni. Na wa ko file divorce. Na divorce no ko file no ya na court ne mame
update na kan last 1 hour be ye na nka omode paper na ba na nka ma me pacho gina so
edru on person obeye on person obeye ti we ni mi bisa se mi so me paper no ebe hu next year ti mi bisa lawyer se ne den na me ya fa hu.
Right. The divorce with you.
Sister me pacho fatu sunetie. Mate se wutie wo honti fatu sunetie why? Lawyer me pacho manansa ne enko. Okay. Me pacho lawyer Amy banti mo ama hold mo nyina no me pacho obi an hold on emfa me obi ama hold you bia me pacho hold on efa ema me me ba 1 by 1 me maybe ebusebusa hello me dof me pacho yenko hello
Me Pacho mia.
yes darling yewa
Ah okay. with a grandma good evening, lawyer of Mojuma family.
Major also.
Pacho, no question, and Christian Ibisa.
Pacho, sir. Wow, Ghana course on the Jinaso. Pacho, sister, uncle.
I'm in 2018 as student to go school in the and 2021 I apply for a sponsor, a care sponsor in the be up till now and only was so. But to say means number. But person me who say and I'm so much to say minion entitled to
no recourse to public fund.
Aha, Yamia, I'm not sure me. Meet you hospital bill, sana.
Omo no say hospital ne ma o bill dia untia. Say hospital no obetua ombeka kire wo se obetua.
Okay.
Obetua ansa no obi also awo wi na mo de bill ne bebrel.
And no be so we can say just me apply for exemption card be. Said that be do say apply for indefinite leave na omo boy card. Enyo omomo ka obi eni obeba be boka say hospital na amfa ka bi amre wo dia home office ni wuni asem na emom so mo de ka bre wo dia e ka ne de okoje exemption card or whatever wo so wutua NHS ka ye NHS ka e wo so wutua na wo ye yi me fa ne say me call dentist December me call dentist no me call dentist no now me call file me gam me file wie no me tuaye me kwaje medicine no honestly speaking na nim se belo modi ama me bibia aka ho enti mentua medication no omo bra me ka lawyer omo bra me ka medication na ye £25 no omo se January omo twro me menhu enti January no omo twro me a menhu no £50 February no omo bra me letter or could do £155 £155 enti no say wo no ma mre wo ka bia na unkutua because we need benefit so me menye entitled for benefit enti mitua enti wo need benefit so no baby abekwa akowo no omo fa ka bre wa wo no me nkoje kanto ho so okay
what I say so omo de ka ne bre wa obetimi atua ne kakra because enye £200 ka no omo de bre no aka se wutua ne bum wo kowo a ye bi o ho a 4000 ebi brusa ye operation be brusa
okay
me pa chawati ase
international kwa no nya say e be apply for any exemption card no
na exemption card o whatever omo de ba because you are not entitled for benefit no omo de card ne bre kwa still na NHS ka obetua
okay I mean sure
right ba omo de bre wa anye by force se kotua ni bum obetua tua ne kakra
okay
why hello medof me pa cholo ye tie me pa cholo ye tie hello yes boss lawyer tie yeah Joe so sweetie yo you make
one will be a maybe original crown so they get one cracker. Basically, there are many maybe I watch media, which media
lawyer, over 10-year route as a parental route now. It take you how long? And what media worry?
Well, you have to have settlement first, depending on whether 10 years 10-year parent route then is 10 years. It's a 5-year parent route. Then 5 years after the route, I ultimately apply for settlement. Over to me.
Yo, bra me pacho lawyer say 10 years I just so train when you indefinite na beti me dia worry. And answer so what switch about 5 years and so after 5 years no beti me dia worry.
Yo mama.
Me da say. Say who worry bra wo beti me akwa worry o. Na emo mu ntimi fa Jimmy ma wo yi. Wo beti me aware. Na emo mu ntimi nkoje wo visa ni bi manipa no. What you say? Hello, bra. What you mean, ka? What you mean, ka, bra? Bra, what you mean? Hello, me pacho yenko. Wa was ne yenko. Good evening, sweetie.
Sister Bron Pacham, person who's a lawyer, some kakra. About angel at
Pacho
work.
jinaso.
They said, Oko Edmona Oko Pra. Netiani say, me colleague, Namitia Conyas, me quay no changing room. And Jaconia Yaba, was a son who we now didn't do and see a Conyas and then a bag. And I your fridge, tabletop fridge to a bone, and this is some amusement now, so changing.
What's na dear you so? A tabletop fridge in so. What's na kunyane so? AC fridge in so.
And I make na kunyane so. Some home. But Chairman Seminary showing on funny being in Sia Kunyane. So Mamma said, ah, the Nippon it's not so I said it. If you are in the system. Until no, never was what Shia Kunyana, me to system.
Oh, you didn't, or you be
I left me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a me system. And she, I want to make Yatian. Let me Yatian say, or you stop it, or you stop in tea. Lady back on a bar, Lady Power, and I'm so I'm sorry, my call report to my manager. And a manager, someone from my supervisor, and I'm the vice supervisor. And my mom make a strong statement. Until I did change another bedroom. I don't know my hospital. A palm talk or a part talk. Some men giant, I'm a palm talk. Supervisor, make a strong say. Supervisor, no so African, in Senator, say, you know, dear, a baby, into a palm talk, I get another palm talk. It's me, J. Until from 1 week equal 2 weeks, then I started pain, and I'm a fat painkiller. Now, my use to abonicate a chichua, the echo 2 weeks, and I'm still a tip pain, not pain, I know yet. And I'm go home, my friend GP. It's me go home GP, GP mammy, painkiller, or Zamini. Let me stay on top.
Sister, bonnet toffer, any day, bonnet toffer, mammy. Why? May we are what friend lawyer. No, I can in actually no.
1 week said, me call rested. My letter, my medical from me rested 1 week. Into 1 week in the sun, now still I'm home for me on the Saturday, another letter 3 weeks. Into 2 weeks, no son, or sister, my master, and a chance of a quadrama. It's a no form, more in your food day. Not a one woman, no in your human, I won't call me one. It was a yaman. The pain of almost shot in a woman trying to pay me, and I won't pay a cry. If I say, I can't bear not make the breakfast, I feel not so. I feel almost so much shame. Somebody should want every moment, she and the sick.
Lawyer employment.
Employment.
Employment. Okay, you know knowing, and now one flow. Sister Winnie, we are, but more than a lawyer, ye may high, so open lawyer, Amy number, me the mount. Because once something, I was a lawyer, but to no children, we employment law. Kebe complement law, ain't we are, friend. Why ye me high me the lawyer number be send do here. Hello, made of me patcho yanko. Me patcho yanko. Hello, what was ni yanko? I mean for before fro.
Hello.
Yes, bra.
Hello, what do you mean?
Me tu nka pa. Me tu nka o. Me I mean for before fro. Yes, darling. Yes, grandma may patch your grandma tea.
No, lawyer question. One year, no, man, answer a question.
I didn't have question. Question Ben Abusa, question.
Near me, besides, make separation, a buy, you know, abuse separation, a buy, or co-filing divorce, no. I do last, you know, now, last one I cannot obey, or the 2 monanka, almost divorce.
Lawyer, you are not cast any problem, we are friend.
So, okay.
I'm so kind of makes a course never was in terms of one tea. Or see any problem of cranty, we are more than a friend. Why? Hello, me patch, what was happening, uncle? Good evening.
But application but send me a lawyer too. I think my mistake brother. Documents now they call them full custody name school DNA. I think so. Okay, the bottom line is if you see it. So let's no. The guys know if you see any but maintenance so responsibility to my project custody. And I think so one of the statements on say as a father, no social concern to me, Bibia would them crown as a mammy do my biological case. Only do many reasons we are to just end that mamma. To me, let out the buy no way these two things. One, mother now and me and to be sole responsibility. And two, they also suspect father not let the man the father no or Bibia or your mouth. And I think these are the two way out. So now they say me book a lawyer. Say yeah now. Probably there is there a chance.
But that's it. Sir, I think there may be a chance. I would want to see documents and the content of documents are deployed and the specific reason for refusal and so.
That is a lawyer on front now forward the mount.
Yes, please.
Bra, me pacho ye we are for lawyer na also forward the refusal no mano. Now I share the content of the documents now what they call you no. And obetimi ama answer. Why? Bra won't hear me on. Hanya number or say forward the refusal ni mano. Now one should be called me patro there be lawyer number it will screen so me we are mebo edit that so oh okay mo YouTube was okay mo Facebook and somebody at to me patro you any onim hear me high and I say test me so pe lawyer me number me the best send you see why
okay
why me that's it now be others over broche na others use Ghana number hello me da from patro yenko Eyewa landlord.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. But some lawyer sir. My warrior cover me ba. Ne baba ko kan ya ma ba no ma. Me de minimum say ma ba no ma ya ba ko. Obodu yiye ye no. Sana ba no ma no. Ye mienu.
Abeku.
Abeku. Is possible, sir? The will to our cover back on.
And so Abeka home.
Abeka on any papa net here. Is it possible?
Lawyer also on any papa net you. Possible, so bet me up for no so aba or yes stepchild no. On any biological father that you Ghana.
Well,
Waba ba kunu de mo de na ba meboa. Yo lawyer kire ni muntama e betumi ana entumi ne enko na emre ne ko.
You see, I think sir, in this sort of situation I would want to know more because ebia ni papa ehwe no enye to say any mama ehwe no said you can be with your mother but your father but it does not mean say or you're actively involved in upbringing any development ebi krana ni mama na your decisions ni nya na man ni mama na stepfather no intim pacho eya na wa frame na ya me pacho.
Hello medof me pacho yenko.
Hello, good evening. Yeah, that's the new one. Just a quick one. Let me say me who may want Ghana. And ever so 16 years. Me so me neomano me any EU ni basi say me wo indefinite leave to remain. And me person me who say age be na unya me like
ubeti mi akofano.
And I met him. Ever don't say be a age boy draw me to me kofano. And I'm busy me.
Lawyer at what age or a EU descendants?
EU descendants.
I but the indefinite. Into at what age no bet me akofa ne ba ne de naba. Ne ba no was 16 years. So indefinite.
Okay. Or your EU descendants or you're a child of an EU national now.
Or your husband or your spouse.
Or your spouse. Okay, providing say they are still married, there's no age limit as
Me
to
pacho ba mo da so ware na mo jai.
Me uncle na your mommy.
Ah, okay, we your dependency.
Yeah. Dependency to my uncle.
Then the patrol and cut-off point is 18. So let's make the application.
Was it 18 years? Me pacho say 18 years.
Okay.
Bra. Hello, me dof me pacho ye nko why? Your last caller. Yes, darling.
When you the church, I'm more,
Yeah, Joso.
The colleague, the crew of fire, the fire. Na kutunkunu na I want to know I'm a crano I will come a kata na to say no wapamo a the colleague necessary and she very no so no be I'm say October and as I said a kokori and she said no but to me again now the medical lawyer said a day crying over to me a fat no so why in kata ni which means in the bano Kuma kata no ama no one
all right me patrol lo ho na me musu asem na me nkyere wade mu because asem na wo kan is not complete e ma me o colleague no akofa ne yire e de naba bra wutie me
the colleague no na ni kofa ne ba
na chese meba lo TV lo ade na wutie no okay wa down for no eye wo ba
Malowano.
Sametio, me da so te. Okay. Wa down for wo colleague ni your ba.
Malowano, me pa cho that mean ti. Me ti de o kala. Kala.
Bra, dumade no lono kra.
My lord me TV no ma.
Dabi tie me low TV no. And our colleague no te won chan a wo tie. Okay. Aha, low TV no. Good. O colleague no. Ena ni kuna kofa na ba. Ena ni kunu ne na wo.
O de ba ye do. O be wo ye do. Wa permanent fishi.
Neighbor, o de enkrata na o colleague ne de ba ye o de visitors visa ne ba no.
O de aware bi shi.
Good. Eye.
2.5 years.
Eye. Enti wa pam o colleague na fifie a wo ba. E ba ne ye British. Enti akra ne ya British passport amano. British passport ne wo colleague no. Now colleague ni ye pam no wo ho ana. Ah, okay, that's good. Okay. Enti na chese ya pam na chese bi kra wo go through abuses. Na ye kan bio. So o go through abuse a obetimi agina so de age indefinite leave to remain. Enti catch your colleague ne say unfair lawyer. For lawyer number ne fama o colleague no. Ubetimi no colleague ni nyina fair lawyer abum amano. Ana unfair lawyer. Say abuse lawyer tie ne asema e bi kura ehun hia so be kwa renew another 2.5 years. Omobetimi amane indefinite. Mbema ne 3 months no mama ni agina so amane indefinite leave to remain. Another alternative enso so yese obetimi ayusu akra no e de agenkrata e wa akra ni dimu enye ni kunu ni dimu na emo be ko 10 years but possibility say yapam na frifie no e beye abuses and domestic violence obetimi ayusu age indefinite intimon fair lawyer why etiefo ni adofo ye da obi biara ase ye mfa course bia bia me pamocho obi an fe lawyer ma mo fe ni nyina ye mfa course bia bia emre no aye be intimesre mo mfe lawyer e wo no a ne personal number so ma me se wakoto e de atoto so bebre abnel solicitors numbers no mo be hu abnel solicitors gugu so e bebre lawyer emi number obi an fa pen ne paper because e bia me kasa test me a me free ana me refi obi an fa ne pen ene ne paper Misremo eye +44 office number or office or phone number +44 2030 260090 and on the mobile number ni nyina no ofra ono abefa +44 77 87 32 7985 +77 +44 77 87 327985. Okay, and the screen is no enti no me pacho mo betumi afre lawyer me pacho wo bibi apesa wo kan edija ye kwan.
All right, the me jack kwan and say first and foremost retain right, whatever be your circumstances, and say and fucking say all the documents are ebia omo bisa phone ebia only ni nya o de ma o bi but ni nya no ontimi enya me pachawa monti ase say e kwan wo ho bra abinel solicitors na yentimi mboa say ban divorce na you are ready to divorce you be share the divorce date answer na moto anamo say o koje wo divorce so ye ho adwuma ye family law into person wo divorce wo UK my more. This is the right Abinel Solicitors is the right place to come to. Aside that, no, with the skilled worker route for dependent children, as I said, application I would initially no and no never determine whether say if you are wrongly sort of refused, you are not given the visa, the child was not given the visa, no. And no now so AR whether they have made a mistake in the case working, or whether say they are justified to make that decision. And he said, there are certain documents who presented for sole responsibility. Case there are certain documents are presented for exceptional circumstances in respect to child dependent skilled worker visa. There are certain documents they want to see. So about the sole responsibility, they don't want to see the other parent, because as the sponsor, you claim say wona was our sole responsibility. Wope na ushakolano. So about the exceptional circumstances, to me explain the reasons why. Exceptional circumstances and say precope any circumstance would debate na omaje. And then now the exceptional at one no. Na say ye bibia say ye when need to left and answer writer only obia obehwe wo bana ma and answer only obia circumstances in Ghana would dictate say ontimi na Ghana krono so it say omuma akwala no be kind ni mame and ani papa ho or ye skilled worker it no na made ja for it me pacho na mum frame this evening no so person nyamia. The main line to speak to me this evening is 078 24 705 353. So person me kasana jui frame was our number. So if during the course maybe tomorrow person me kasan, so the other numbers too are on the screen. Ube to me afre na ya bo nkomo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you.
Medase onti menka
the two say
medase nyame hira oba lawyer me obi amo ne nsem lawyer obi amo ne nsem nyame hira lawyer nyame ya adomo a next week ye ne wo ebesan atena se me pacho Abinel Solicitors ene no mo twetwe enkomo no me pacho friend number no lawyer mi eda so ewo ho onaye o friend na obefa call up to 12 a.m. After 12 men friend no okoda enti from now up to 12 no about 2 hours more. So what the be friend lawyer enti friend no na oni na entwetwe nkomo lawyer nyame ensure nyame adoma next week ye no be twetwe nkomo ye no be sign ehia biem ye da lawyer asip adofo ne etiefo adehye abrempon akatachie obi biara a wodi wa fidie no ato wase nyame wonhyiraw ye da Awurade asekasa February to be favored obi ankasa February to be favored. Hey, ka oka na nye easy wate enye easy se wo benya favor se Awurade wodi na nimonyam ne na adom ne wosra favor no eto wo so a wo break protocols baby a enipa ko interview unko interview enkrata na wodi ko home office no wa wonim sa ade da so na nye papa eye kuntunkuni enso Awurade favor wo benya case work anani madom aware we pa wonim sa kai oba we dia memfata no bema we dia memfata no enso Awurade favor to wo so a wo break protocol limit bibiara e break enti wo ba na meka sa February to be favored a jeso ne can be if we say baby you don't deserve it no of favor na ni monyam ye kese onkoje bosia no wa wo hwa wonsa na wonfata enso Awurade de bema ho adwuma na wo kope no age se Awurade favor eto so enti eye February to be favored echina eye last Tuesday of a month of February and echina eye redemption hour wotena fie echina nyame yadoma wotena fie eye prophet Greg say echina adum bidum boayen na ade echia mentena fie this year eye our year of restoration and speed obetu mirika obi beka kire so wakwaje aduro no aka kire ne say why life insurance ato abrabo so na why life insurance ato biara so enti wo ko speed a ontwa wani onhwe wachi because kwan ne da so e kwan ne da so ankasa Awurade favor e chine nyame ya adom a baby a wo bia wo London wo outside London e chine ye last Tuesday daddy say e chine wo bia fa ne passport emra say wo kura British passport EU passport Canadian America Ghana passport unnin krata me pa choko print passport ne fabra hey Awurade asan babiom se wunnin krata sister brother ko internet so Ghana passport a wo pe visa kura wo pe bo won kwa kwa na cho bo ne printing ekromi akọ printing press for print it out na china fekura obi anfa ne passport mra because ekromi ha passport ne di wura baby a o kopa adwuma ye passport o kopa danya ye passport o kopa nkrata passport without passport no we ekromi ha baby a wo be ko wo ko bank wo ko bie bank passport wo ko ji loan passport wo kopa adwuma passport wo kopa school bi nka se passport dia wo ye bibiara wo ko wo passport ye be your operation passport enti passport no we ehu hia ye be ni kan so ne honam adwuma de a passport we ye ambassador passport en we ehu hia enti echine nyame ya adomo a ya anointing service ubedie bra ne beje musra efewura a month of grace adom bra echina anointing service or anointing ye palm enti china beje musra gu wonsam obi ayi wonsam ani munyama eda wonsam yeyi enti china nyame ya adomo a eye anointing service china fa wo passport to bra de odi free Ghana baaye sister de odi free Ghana baaye me pacha wo passport ayira kone ko print bi bo Ghana passport a wo bo open no bo ne print ne fa wo bank card ye kura mi wo bi fabra wonni bi obudu bi nkrata na ye adwuma na se wonni bank card bra ko online print bank card ne fabra se tua wo ke gu bank card mu meboa obu ho ye betua ne ka na bibia be bom obu wo ye betua ne ka yeso obi yare ye tua ne ka wo wudi e wodi sika na ye sister brother mesi disia wo ka bi a wodo bi betua ma wo ewurade ni monyam beto wo sika sam so ewurade na dom minimbra bia bra no ye tua ne ka bia ye tua wa ye adwuma ye tua ne ka da bia behunu no de bag ketewa bia sen ne kon ho wo kɔ eya na mokuko kokroma ehonye ye ma bosia at the same time wo ton jewelry utimi do jewelry kɔ at the same time ya na omo san tonton speak nioma yes kan but omoma loan omoma bosia bra yi na menene tifie ba ko da bia be wo bra yi bra kodwo usu da bia bra kodwo na akwa no nani a kire ho so ya tua ne ka enti da bia na bra wo de ka eka edi nanim oni yire woni ma enso da bia bra yi na ka edi bra yi nim edi bentia sister brother echine nyame ya adomwa redemption hour me pacho echina fa wo bank card bra fa wo passport bra se sa wo ma passport ukunu ko adwuma me pa cho e bia se me ye be ko adwuma echina ye ya sorry 7 pm me pa cho bra refreshment ho banku fufuo abetie e na apeso kodi dabi fa wo ye funu to ho na bompaye because oba be di ama wo ho we are ye wo refreshment ho assorted snacks ubedi bia mofu ahye enti ukoya na ukoshawa no akoda enti menye wadwe so mapon me pentema kofi wo se me kwedi fufuo e wo se me kwedi banku dabi Tuesday wo hia so obedi banku ansan no waba wo hia so obedi abetie ansan no waba because wan sha no wabefe ye kodi apaye ye kotafra paye ye kodware apaye ye konoma paye asha paye atade every Tuesday enti se wo kofie na kodidi ba wafe obafe because wo ba bedidi wo bedi apaye anoma paye atafra paye edwane apaye ano ashe apaye atade echina eye redemption hour enti china nyame ya adomo a me pa cho fa wo passport to bra sorry won fa passport no me she prophet nsamo ekura wankasa na fa wo bank card eka ho ebra o anointing ye palm bra o anointing ye palm ade bia don sabe so mu bi enyeye ade bia wo de wo bi etoko bi obi atoko bi de asi dan enso so wo de ko bi wo ton ano aboka edan ba ko awusi atake usen 22 years wunsi nyeye proto ba ko untimi ntwa ho nhia sister brother echine nyame ya adomo a redemption na wa mentena se kwa me yuji wote he ya bra ne be bompaye bra ne be dia paye bra ne be no mapaye bra ne be hye apaye atade enti chine nyame ya adomo a ka kire wunye bi e bia wo ba ye wan hu obi oso o bra bi ti baby o sister bi ti baby obi ti baby a wo kwa ho hiehie mu wo hie wrati favor. A month of February, it's a February to be favored. Echina last Tuesday. Last Tuesday me pacho. A whole of February nyina won kwa sorry da. Echina de baby a wo bia me pacho bra. Entena fie Emma Wednesday ento. Echina nyame ya adomo a echina 27th me patrolment entena sister entena fie sorry ne tumirika brother sorry ne tumirika waka ne bedia paye ne benoma paye ne betafra paye ne bedwaria paye na osoro ebebie na osoro ebekasa ewurade won hirawo echina mame hu echina nyame ya adomo a eye buga oba bodama Kristo obebebu sasanti abana na hefa ene china yemra asori na wo hefa me pacho eye Flames of Faith Assemblies ye locate ewo Elephant and Castle ade Dawson dia toto so amame Ye base ewo Elephant and Castle. Elephant and Castle me pacho. For bus, for train, ebra. Train Northern Line, Bakerloo Line, eba ho. Bus so de bebre, baby a wufuri baby a ewo UK bia, wo de wo so be Elephant and Castle. Me pacho brani besi wo Elephant and Castle. Usia busa obia se wo pe Keddington train station and Keddington underground. We drew Keddington underground from Elephant and Castle to Keddington. It's about 10 minutes walk. Me pacho ofa basa a 2-stop pe. Brand nebesi wo Keddington underground ho. Wenim baby abesi na wenim straight. Obehu Tesco. Enye big Tesco. Big Tesco ni de ewo Vauxhall. Enti we a small Tesco wo Keddington. Me pacho obehu small Tesco wenim. Fa Tesco dane ho a. Obeba beto small praying ground. Ehwa na sorry dino esie o matchro ho Lambeth Citizens Advice Bureau. Eye number 1 Opal Street, Padless Akaho, London XC 114AZ. And now what do you bedru South London? Elephant and Castle. Na me pacho owure fi Keddington frame ladies campaign baby I will be able to foul and I be my direction ama waba. Enti ekire nyame ya adoma mesere wo de wo fa wo mafiri school a emoda wo ho kura nkofie se wo komo maduane refreshment ho enti wo fa wo mba wa wo so apon adwuma fa wo working gi a ebra ye ma mekire dressing debi enye dressing ye kudia paye enti me pacho ebana da nsore de enya afei na akoti agum enye kosiada ena wakoti agum wo de akina fa wo working gi a ebra na ye nyina no ye ne osoro emum ne enhwe na wo be ho awurade ani munyam enti kai ne fa wo passport bra ne fa wo bank card bra de wo de ye adwuma de ye twia wo kagum de wo de ye adwuma a ye twia wo ka edigum fa bra me dase me pacho ma me se wa koto e photo we. Happy birthday to Mama Sewa Kwame Eugene. And now we are jollof ana and then mama sewa and I eto happy birthday to Mama Sewa Koto o akoto broni akoto fefo ye senkamenyi na ti se miniaba oso dey senkamenyi na ti se ye niaba ya Sewa Koto enkanya ni se ye brei den minim to na nena ne guarantee se wu na befa ne la den yeah Koyi wanu bejemo Mama Sewa odie wenye bido kwa waye bida na no akoyi nika ntina mse meja ne ba no me yire di koyi wanu bejemo die wenye bido aye Sewa Koto akota won fe akoto broni ye mo ba papa bi oba so no akoto happy birthday Ewurade won shira wate Ewurade won ton kwamu Ewurade won fufura adumu enko adumu Ewurade wonya wo kese Mama Sewa afisa se Mama Sewa na ye nyina ye di so people me kura de me maybe because me yiwadi enti afisa se na Kwame Eugene mu nyina di so se ya ye me ba we say obura kasa burabari dai was hin yai Mary bi ba we bra Sewa Koto ni o akoto ye akoto awon fe happy birthday to akoto happy birthday to Mama Sewa wa woni Mama Sewa woni o snacks boga my akwasi we nyima me se we free so me kasa kan boga akoto boga osebonsu beya Eye me papa say bonsu ana se hwan ya. Yes, of course, you can join us live. Debbie, me patcho Debbie. I'm sorry now, what can Debbie and my life for Sebonsu? Or Sebonsu, me patcho, yeah, me papa, apostle, or Sebonsu, and I say, why, me patcho. Me papa, apostle, dear, and your daddy, me, sorry, why, some body, we and patcho. Debbie, I'm sorry, Tuesdays, and fam, ma, life. Inti, I just a woba, sorry, ankasa. Why? Ajisa wo ba sorry ankasa nani Gloria echina bra sorry nani wo ba fa wo passport bra fa wo kunu de bra fa wo ba de bra fa wo sister echina ka kire wo sister sa wo nkwa adwuma echina nani daddy so obi amfa ne passport obi amfa ne British ne bank card ayetwia ne kagum won krata wo home office me pa cho print passport ne fa bra se kura wo ye nkrata wo fa passport onko home office eda won chen enti kina nyame ya adoma wa wo niema wo home office bra no me pa cho bra wo na se home office ho no home office wo no wo passport ne da ho de kura no mu obu passport ne se ye nwura enti obi di akodi ho home office ho enfie mienu emaye bra na a month of March enye glorious enfama enti chine nyame ya adomo a echina obi afa ne passport mra echina wo bia fa wo passport bra sorry fa wo bank card bra sorry e ya anointing service daddy anointing e pam enti china de oh heaven will kiss the earth echina snow kura to sister fa mu bra so snow to oja to sorry ne bra mena nyame onhira obi biara medamo nyina meba or say I'm outside UK, that is why I am asking. Or say oh outside UK here fan or say who here fan UK here or say bonsu outside UK here fan now Gloria Adams said to say or say who UK here fan who here obi o Manchester oba obi o Leeds oba enti who here fan outside the church na menhwe outside the here fan say o se Kwame Yuji kofa oba obekwa kofa ado aba outside the here fan na wo Amsterdam. Oh, okay, Amsterdam. Kosewate. But still, yes, to betimi afre Prophet Greg. Ubetimi afre no Thursday, and na Thursday join no emergency hour. Emergency hour ubetimi afre no, and na ubetimi Thursday nye last Thursday. Thursday, last Thursday. Last Thursday of a month of February. Yes. Into betimi a join no. Eradi enhira. Yes, Kwame UG, yes, take your passport to the church. And you're online. Ye de ba sorry. Enti enye online. Enti nyame enhira mu nyina meda so wa wo ba ye ne mawie. Ye wa like ya me patcho like it na ye sorry. Eye dwumade ni so. Erade enhira mu nyina. Nyame ya adoma echina. Minimu behia ewo asori enumre. Meda mase. Meeting at the Abonance campaign. Medisika Emma Nimebusia any atofo. Ewo my granemu e de fa eye tap sikamanie. Eso ediebentia eye so easy, reliable, affordable, convenience and is so fast. E pabei and I will be fastwa. Obe you so tap sikamanie. And one is say ubefa wo smartphone na wa download tap sikamanie ewo wo phone so eno ani se woko eni gisem kese ne se baby a wo bia wotimi yusu tap e de send sika ekwo wo my Ghana mu ewo abra wontua hwe commission free empo abra meti hei metimi use tap tap e de send sika e wa abra mi mpia bonten na mom kai se wo be use promo code e wo screen so na wo dia send sika na ma busua enya £5 extra, €5 extra enka wo musika wo de be ko ne ho no enti use promo code no e wo screen so tap tap yes say Paul Mantem was saying Eddie Canfo. Tap tap abba. Amaye Ghana for. Hey, Abusia meeting at the Abonance campaign. Mitisika and my name Busia any other four. And my Ghana mu at the fa a yet tap tap. Sikamanie, eso, edibentia, so easy, reliable, affordable, convenience, and it's so fast. A company, and I will be fasua, ube you to tap tap, Sikamanie, and one is say, ube follow smartphone, now I download a tap tap, Sikamanie, and our phone so, and one is a walker, and need just some Cassian say, baby, I will be a what me use a tap tap, Edison Disica, echo my ganemu, ewa bra won't ya she commission free, empo abra me to me use a tap tap, Edison Disica, ewa bra mimpia bonte, nemo mukai, so be use a promo code. E was screen so now what you send this sika nema busia enya £5 extra, €5 extra enka wo musika wo de be ko ne ho no enti use promo code no e was screen so tap tap yes say Paul Mantem was saying Eddie Canfo tap tap abba amaye Ghana for
5 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed. At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or abroad. With no medicals required, we'll accept you if you are under 75 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed. At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or abroad. With no medicals required, we'll accept you if you are under 75 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed. At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or